Hello, Liverpool fans. Welcome to the Liverpool Report, your go-to source for the latest news, match updates, and transfer stories straight from Anfield. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that subscribe button now and stay in the loop with all things Reds. Federico Chiesa is on the verge of missing out on a Premier League winners' medal, though ought to take a page out of Harvey Elliott's book if he does. The Italian ace, who signed for Liverpool from Juventus in the summer, has only clocked up 3 league games this season and needs at least 2 more appearances in the competition to meet the automatic qualification for a medal. According to Premier League rules, players need to rack up 5 appearances during the season to be deemed eligible for one. That said, the clubs receive a total of 40 medals and can distribute them as they see fit once all players with 5 or more appearances have been awarded theirs. Back when Liverpool clinched the title in the 2019-20 season, Elliott was 3 games short of the required appearances. Despite this, he handled the situation with absolute professionalism and grace. Upon getting ribbed on social media about not receiving a medal, with one user jesting, "Lol, no medal must suck so much," Elliott graciously responded, "It's not about me, lad, it's about the team. And I'm over the moon for them all to be receiving one. They deserve it more than anything, so I'm going to celebrating as a supporter with the fans." Elliott, now 21, got the last laugh after being awarded one of the additional medals. However, he'll no doubt be determined to secure one on merit this time around, and will do exactly that if Liverpool win the league, having made 10 appearances so far this season. The Reds are sitting comfortably at the top of the table with a 13-point lead. Even though Arsenal, who are in second place, have a game in hand, Liverpool's lead seems unassailable, especially with the Gunners dropping points in their last 2 matches. This puts Chiesa in a tense race against time to clock up 5 appearances before the season concludes. The 27-year-old has been battling injuries since his move to Anfield and has struggled to secure playing time even when fit. This is particularly due to Mo Salah's dazzling form in Chiesa's favoured right-wing position. Securing minutes on the left hasn't been any easier, with Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, curtisjones and Diogo Jota all competing for the spot. Chiesa was an unused substitute in each of Liverpool's last 4 league games and was left out of the squad entirely for the previous 2. More worryingly, he's only managed 7 minutes of Premier League action since September, having made just a couple of late appearances against Brentford and Ipswich last month. Out of his 10 Liverpool appearances across all competitions, only 3 have been starts. He's also only completed 90 minutes once during the Reds' 3-2 loss to PSV in the Champions League last month. Chiesa isn't the only senior Liverpool player set to miss out on a winner's medal. Jadon Danns, who has featured in both the Premier League and Champions League this season, is 4 appearances short of 1 and won't get any more after being loaned out to Sunderland. Reserve goalkeeper Vítězslav Jaros also requires 4 more appearances, but with both Alisson and Kyle Kelleher now fit, securing game time could prove challenging. Other players like Trey Nyoni, Tyler Morton and James McConnell, who have each participated in multiple games in other competitions, are 5 league games short and seem unlikely to qualify. Should he fail to secure a medal, Chiesa wouldn't be the first high-profile player to miss out in recent years. Calvin Phillips only managed 4 league games for Manchester City last season, while Cole Palmer, now at Chelsea, suffered the same fate in the 2021-22 season. Liverpool have posted an overall loss of £57 million from last season's accounts. The Reds' commercial revenue rose by £36 million to £308 million, but a huge drop-off in media revenue because of the lack of Champions League football has helped turn their accounts into a deficit for the season. Media revenue fell by £38 million to £204 million with the club in the Europa League and reaching the quarter-finals of the competition. Some of that was offset by finishing 3rd in the Premier League, an improvement on the previous campaign. They also won the Carabao Cup, but it did not help them achieve a profit with loss before tax at £57 million. The club are not in any risk of breaching PSR regulations and will continue to invest in the squad. Liverpool's chief finance officer Jenny Beecham said, Operating a financially sustainable club continues to be our priority, and with the continued increase in costs, it's essential to grow income streams year on year to maintain financial stability. The success of our commercial operations, together with the opening of the new Anfield Road stand, has increased our revenues during this reporting period, which demonstrates our desire to continue to compete at the highest levels of football in the men's and women's game. The global appeal of this football club continues to be phenomenal and is the underlying strength and opportunity we have for continued growth. We also take our social responsibilities seriously, using our global appeal to increase our community impact and sustainability efforts, in which we are leading the way across the football industry. We will continue to operate in accordance with football's financial rules and regulations, while maintaining investment opportunities in our operations, infrastructure, and players. Our focus right now is to finish this season as strong as possible, both on and off the pitch, to fulfill our collective ambitions for success. Matchday revenue rose by £22 million to £102 million, thanks to the extended Anfield Road stand. While commercial revenue is up £36 million to £308 million, thanks to deals with the likes of UPS, Google Pixel, Peloton, and Orion Innovation, with Kodansha and Carlsberg extending their existing partnerships. Admin costs have rose by £38 million to £600 million, while overall revenue rose to £614 million, a £20 million increase on 2022-23. The administrative cost rises are down to numerous factors, including inflation, wage increases for playing and non-playing staff, as well as other items such as rising utility costs. The accounts include significant investment in the playing staff for the men's team, with Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, Wataru Endo, and Ryan Gravenberch's fees in the costs. While 11 contracts were extended, and there was also investment in the women's team squad. Liverpool will hope the fact they are included in this season's Champions League will mean that the deficit should be substantially less next season, although that will depend on a number of factors, including investment in players. Only a bitter fan of a rival club would put an asterisk next to Liverpool's last Premier League title win. Yes, it came in the COVID-impacted season of 2019-20, but it was a hugely impressive achievement from Jurgen Klopp's side, amassing 99 points and finishing 18 clear of a Manchester City team that had a goal difference of plus 67. And there will certainly be no asterisk against their impending title win in the 2024/25 season. Arne Slot inherited a very good squad of players from Jurgen Klopp, but has improved them considerably. Their tactical brilliance, their work rate, their defensive discipline, and of course their liberal scattering of individual stardust is something to behold. But there is no escaping the fact that Liverpool is a remarkable team in an unremarkable Premier League. That is not Liverpool's fault, of course. They can only dispose of what is in front of them, as they did with the minimum of fuss when faced by Manchester City and Newcastle United in the past week. But for a league that prides itself on its competitiveness, this season has been a letdown. In the sense there are 15 teams below Liverpool who are much of a muchness. I guess you could argue it actually is competitive. But essentially, there are 4 poor teams, 1 brilliant team, and 15 mediocre teams in the competition. That, though, is judging them within the parameters and standards of the Premier League. Which is why the knockout stages of the Champions League and Europa League, with English clubs seeming to have a strong hand in both competitions, now provide the most compelling narrative in the final months of the season. Let's face it, followers of the Premier League can be an insular lot. The most exciting league in football? Well, La Liga, with its 3-way title race between Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, looks fairly exciting from a distance, as does Serie A, where only 3 points separate Inter, Napoli and Atalanta. But naturally, we tend to concentrate mainly on the attraction of our own league, and that is part of the reason why Mohamed Salah is being talked about by a lot of people as a shoo-in for the Ballon d'Or. It is true he is more sensational than he has ever been, but there are some outstanding individuals in other countries. Statistics only ever tell a sliver of a story, but the leading individual scorers in the domestic leagues of France, Germany, Italy and Spain all have a better goals per minute ratio than Salah has. And in the list of scorers in this season's Champions League, Salah is alongside 19 other players in 31st place, having collected 3 goals, one of which was a penalty. His stunning number of Premier League assists stands out, but the overarching point is that there are a lot of supremely talented players beyond these shores, and the destiny of the 2025 Ballon d'Or will almost certainly be decided by what happens in the Champions League between now and the last day of May. And, harsh as it may seem, resistance to Liverpool's charge has been so tepid that their fortunes in the Champions League, and they begin their knockout campaign with a very difficult tie against Paris. Saint-Germain will determine whether this is a very good team or a great team, topping the ladder and beating the likes of Milan, Bayer Leverkusen and Real Madrid in the process. The signs from the qualification process could not have been more encouraging. But the real battle for Salah, for Slot, and for the Premier League's claims of being the best starts in Paris next week